Hey, welcome to episode number 8. And today we're talking about food and exercise journals. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing to keep a journal of what you're doing?
Be strong.
Hello and welcome back to this week or this fortnightly podcast that we have. It's episode 8. And I am Natasha Lloyd-Best, aka @Lloyd-Best if you follow us on Instagram. And I'm also here, of course, with Lewis, because we all know this podcast is about Lewis. Lewis, hi over there in Southsea.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. Okay, so let's get on to the agenda. What are we talking about? So we're obviously talking about food journal. We did a food and activity journal. So what we're going to talk about in section 1 is why did we do the journal? And basically then we're going to compare the journals in part 2. And just so everyone is on board and transparent, we have seen each other's journals, but I think I'm still shaking from the shock of yours. But and I really got on your case last night, didn't I? Because I exploded and went, "Oh my God, I can't believe he eats like that!" And I immediately
Her hair
called
went
you.
even redder and flamed, like flames coming out of her hair and stuff, and like steam coming out of her nose. It was brilliant.
Flames came out, and steam everywhere from all orifices, and
She
I immediately
properly
jumped
boiled.
on the phone, and screamed down the phone and stuff, and I tried to not be judgmental, but for some reason something took a hold of me.
Yeah, just take away that word judge, and then that's what you normally left
I'm just
with anyway,
mental,
isn't it? Hey!
Hurry!
No, obviously not. She's beautiful, she's lovely, she's very down to earth, and she's my co-host and with the mostest.
Obviously I came from a place of I care, because I saw that and I just went,
Planet Earth.
honestly, you are killing yourself from the inside out. What are you doing? And I just called him and just went, you're wasting my time and you need to grow up and you need to eat better food and go. And I went really go on you. But okay, so let's get straight on to segment 1, which is why did we do the journal? So we measured food and activities.
Yes.
So for you, how do you feel? Because obviously I found it quite hard because I'm a grazer, so I felt like I was constantly writing all day long that I was eating and drinking.
If you guys could actually see the amount that she consumes, you would go, whoa. So this is why we thought about doing the comparison anyway. But I have gone on and off the wagon all the way through this weight loss adventure. So when I look through my, I was about to call you someone else's name then, and I shouldn't. Natasha had done her journal at the beginning, and she's been on to me for a while, should we say, to do mine. But me being me, very lackadaisical, didn't want to share a lot of the information with you guys because you'd see the real inner me and what I get up to. So I did it. I picked a really good week with a good arrangement of rubbish in it, shall we say? Would you agree, Natasha? Rubbish? Yeah. But also a good degree of fitness in there as well. So, Natasha, how did your Monday go?
Well, I think it was quite an eye-opener keeping the journal, because not for the activities, because we knew that we were quite active, but whereas you'll do something every day, like one day I've got down here that was 2 hours and 25 minutes climbing. I need a rest day after that, because my arms and between the shoulder blades, the muscles are so tired from that.
Yeah, and they get trapped.
I need a rest day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I can't, I could have gone out for a walk, but as I don't need to.
No,
blessed in that sense.
Yeah. I wouldn't say blessed, but yeah, go
on. Okay. But for me, having the food and activity journal was quite fun. But I can definitely see I have a certain rhythm, and I definitely have a lot of entries in the food journal.
You've got a lot more entries, haven't you?
Yeah. And And it was good because I could actually see, okay, I probably needed to up my water intake and things like that, because I tried to drink 2 liters a day, but now I've actually started measuring it. So I actually,
So
I've
you've
taken
gone
action
to
by seeing my own journal. So I think it's really good if you're about to go into a diet or do some kind of life changing, like an activity that start doing, going to a personal trainer, or you joined the gym in January, because we've got all the January joiners coming soon.
January joiners.
Well, actually, this is going out in January, so you've probably already joined the gym.
Great time for this one to go out, isn't it? Basically, because
So
you need to know where you are.
Yeah, and because then it will highlight to you where, you pit and you trough and you peak, and times of the day when you probably are likely to snack more, so you could change your meals around. So you want to see
from someone who's blessed. Sorry, we'll go back to Monday in a second. Someone who's blessed, like you say. How many times have you ever kept a food journal?
Never.
Okay, so
it's the first time ever.
This is where this is going to get interesting once we go on this, isn't it? So carry on with your Monday, and then we'll go from
all right. So now everybody knows why we did the journal. So let's have a straight comparison now.
When we do talk about breakfast, there's timings involved. So crack on.
Oh, okay, right. Well, my day starts at 6 a.m. Because I have children. So the first thing I've always done, and done it for a long time, is that I have a full glass of water. So one like that, and I'll drink a full glass of water. And then for me, on a Monday, I've had 1 peanut butter on toast. So a slice of toast, peanut butter. It's homemade bread. It's a mixture of white and wholemeal.
50-50.
Yeah, there's no sugar. It's agave nectar I use instead of sugar. And there's no dairy in it, because obviously I'm lactose intolerant. And there's 1 scoop of salt and the rest is water, right? So that's all it is, just dead straightforward bread. And then I was having coffee, which funny enough, I've swapped back to tea now. So I was having a coffee at 8:30. So what that means essentially is, while I'm getting my kids ready, from the point of getting up at 6, I have the minimum required to keep me going. So glass of water, 1 piece of peanut butter on toast. Then once I've delivered my children, I come home, and then I'll have a cup of coffee and write my journal or whatever. And then, do you want me to just go through the full day? Do you want to compare what?
Just go for the crack on with the full day. We won't. Then I'll go in. You can read out mine for me.
Okay, then okay, so we're still Monday. Then at 10:30, around 10:30, I always start getting like, feeling a bit hungry. I had 3 carrots with some hummus, and 2 glasses of water and a cup of tea.
Perfect.
Then at 1 o'clock, I had some leftover vegan spaghetti bolognese and a glass of water. So that was my lunch.
Yeah.
Then at 3:30, I just had a glass of water. Then at 5 o'clock, I actually had a glass of Ribena. Dropped off.
Pushing the boat out.
Oh, I know. And a chocolate biscuit. That was my pick-me-up, because I was probably making dinner at that point.
So
and I'm hungry, and I didn't want to pick at the food. So And then, so then at 6 o'clock, we've had our evening meal, our family meal. So I actually had a glass of wine that day. Pushed the boat out that day, didn't I? I had a glass of wine. I had cauliflower and tomato stir fry with basmati rice, vegetable samosas, and sweet potato falafel.
Nice dinner. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So, if anyone's not aware, I'm a vegan. So it was vegan food. And then, 8 o'clock. Now I've put kids to bed, and this is very typical of my evening. I had a bowl of crisps and a glass of water and a cup of tea. And that was me for the evening.
So that literally what you said at the beginning of the episode, where you're a grazer, that instinctively every 2 hours you're eating something, aren't you?
Eating or drinking, because at 3:30 I only had a glass of water.
Yeah, so something will go in to you, like almost like a strongman diet. So every so often, every 2 or 3 hours, you're consuming something, aren't you?
Yeah, and that just keeps me burning the whole day.
So what about?
I didn't actually do any activity. No, I did nothing on that Monday.
Okay.
I have a
Okay.
kind of set routine. I normally work out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Do you keep a record of your steps as well?
No,
Right. Okay. Did you walk the kids
not
to school that day,
specifically.
or drive
If
them to school? Or...
I'm not a step person, I'm a kilometer person because I hike.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so if I go on a hike, I'll set my just disclaimer here. I'm not sponsored by
Yeah.
these people, but I use a Sunto watch.
Yet.
I use a Sunto watch. So when I start, I'll map out a route on the app on my phone. I can send it to my watch, and then I can go. So, and then I'm clocking the distance rather than the steps.
Yeah.
But now, since you've been going on about steps, I kind of look at my steps now.
You do look at it now and again.
So if I walk the kids to school, by the time I've done, like right now, I'm on 1,670 steps and it's 5 to 11. But we didn't walk today. Whereas if I walk them to school, then I normally have around 2,200 steps by like 8 o'clock because of that 1.5K to school. All right, so let's have a look at yours then. Because on Monday, for your breakfast...
Pause. What time did you have your first bit? What time did you have your first bit of food?
6
What time did you have your first? Yeah, okay. So I was up probably about 6 a.m. anyway, because that's what time I normally get up anyway. But I don't get up and about and all that sort of stuff because there's nothing to do. So this breakfast would have been about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Oh.
So that's what time that would be. It's not breakfast, but that's what it has
Yours
to go
is like
on my
in
fitness
place of second breakfast.
Brunch. Yeah.
You're brunching. Well, your brunch then.
Go.
Was a Cadbury's Boost.
Boom. Not sponsored.
Flame grilled McCoys.
Love to be sponsored.
And a ½ litre of cherry Coke.
Boom. So that was, because I do MyFitnessPal, it's logged onto there and it tells me how much calories it does. I'm like, well, we're not talking about calories today, but it tells me everything I've got in there. So
what obviously highlights to me immediately is the fact that nothing good went into your body at that point. So you've been up since 6, you've been up for 4 hours, and then the first thing you put in your mouth is refined sugar. Basically,
when we talked last night, I had to look at it again and thought, I'm a child. I'm still eating like a child. I want crisps and sweets and fizzy pop.
And do you know what? If anyone that's listened to any of our previous podcasts and listened to your upbringing podcast, I'll put some links if you're watching this.
You could YouTube, see the relevance.
I'll put the links to that one in the description below. But your upbringing was very, I feel like it was very snacky. Like it was lots of sandwiches sweetie, and I feel like you're still eating like that.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so for your lunch,
this is better.
Lunch, you had a regular can of Coke.
Yes.
I'm using all my energy not to cry.
How many other entries in my lunches there, Natasha?
Nothing.
Nothing
on Monday.
Because I'm a wombat.
Yeah.
I'm a dingbat. I know that's silly, but I wasn't hungry. So what did I have
you
for
had
tea?
Coke, yeah.
Yeah. What did I have for dinner that day?
You had 3 wholemeal pitters filled with Philadelphia, garlic
Philadelphia, garlic and herb Philadelphia,
and gherkins.
9 gherkin slices. Yeah.
So your dinner was
a lunch.
A large lunch, because you did 3 of them.
They're not big though, are they? They're only that big.
No.
They're only tiny.
If it was me having a pita bread, mine is filled with salad so that it's starting to break.
Oh right, yeah. No, these are little slivers. Yeah.
Yeah, well I would have definitely put some salad in there, some lettuce and some tomatoes and cucumber, and filled that out more. And obviously I'm looking at it that there's no protein on that. Like, because I'm vegan, I have to really always think about my protein. So I'm looking at that going, well, it was just cheese. Okay, there's protein in the cheese.
On that
But it
day
was,
when I'd done the breakdown and nutrition, it was quite bad on protein.
yeah, you've got nothing in. And this is what's interesting. Like for me so far, you're mainly refined sugars, which will give you peaks and troughs throughout the day as that hits and then drops off.
Yeah.
You didn't write anything that you had a drink there either. So you only had that as your dinner.
I probably don't have any water or anything like that
No.
day either, which
Okay.
is silly. Yeah.
And then you've written down that snacks, you had 2 cherry Cokes. You realise drinking is not a snack.
It's the only bit you can put it in as an option on the app.
Okay, so basically you
with
didn't
dinner
have
or
a
whatever.
snack.
No.
But you had 2 cherry Cokes. So basically during the course of the day, you've drunk, those 2 cherry Cokes were on top of the other Cokes you drunk.
1.5 litres of cherry Coke and 330 mils of normal Coke.
Yes. Okay, now your exercise that day, you did 100 minutes of cycling and 100 minutes of walking. Yeah. Should we move on to Tuesday?
200 minutes of exercise.
On very little fibre, almost zero. Your pita breads, they were wholemeal, so they got you a little
Wholemeal, yeah.
Little bit of fibre, so hardly any
really
fibre.
Tasty.
No minimal protein.
Mm.
A shitload of sugar, refined sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. So Tuesday, moving along. Tuesday. Again, I'm up at 6. My glass of water. I've run out of this stuff right now and I need to buy some more actually. I had 100 milliliters of Ribena with cannabis powder. Ooh, I'm going to get messages about this, aren't I? What? Natasha, you do cannabis powder?
Ooh.
It is cannabis powder. I buy it from a company called Senna Nordic, and I can mention them because I am a tester for them and a photographer for their brand, so it's fine. So Senna Nordic in Denmark, and they source everything from the Netherlands, and they basically take the cannabis, it gets ground down into this nice thin powder, and you take this little scoop of it and you stick it in 100 mils of something to drink and just drink it down. So I had that, and then I had 2 pieces of peanut butter on toast.
Oh, it's gone up to 2.
Yeah, it went up to 2. Maybe it was the cannabis.
Yeah, snacks.
So then that was at 6 o'clock, and then at 9, I've written, I know why I've done this, right? From 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock. Now this is because I'm climbing this day.
Yeah.
So I'm at the climbing gym at this point. I've drunk 500 milliliters of water and about 5 handfuls of peanuts.
Right, okay, yeah.
And then at 12:45, I'm now home from climbing, and I've had another glass of water, and then I had some rye bread with avocado and beetroot and 1 vegetable samosa. 1 o'clock, cup of tea. 4 o'clock, glass of water. So I haven't snacked, I've just consumed fluids.
That's a much better day, that one, isn't it? Yeah.
At 17:45, we had homemade pizzas and potato wedges. Yeah, I sent you pictures that day. They were so yummy.
Yep.
At 7:20, glass of water, and at 7:45, I had an oat milk hot chocolate. I actually didn't eat crisps that evening. Aren't I good?
Oh, that's
I
weird.
must have really filled myself up with that pizza. It's all those carbs, you see. I had tons of carbs, right? So I got full up.
Carbs. Bosh.
Filled up that tummy of mine. So my activity that day was 2 hours and 25 minutes of indoor boulder climbing.
Awesome.
So totally peaked. And actually I noticed a massive difference that the days I climb, I'm so hungry. I used to eat so much for dinner. I'm really hungry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with my hiking. If I do big hikes the next day, because not on the day normally, because I normally camp out. But the next day when I get home, I just eat. Burn so many calories.
That's it. You will do, yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday, your breakfast. Now, is this the same? Have you gotten up at 6 and then you've not eat until
I'm a
10.
Creature of habit, don't forget. So it's
Well,
just,
we
I
all
go
are,
into the
really. I
shop.
mean,
Yeah, I go into the shop and automatically get certain things, as you'll find
is
out.
this why you're buying? Is this why you're doing it again with this? Because it's the same food. So is it because you've
It's
gone to a shop?
automatically. Same shop, automatically, in the morning, bush. I didn't do it this morning, so it's good. I want
Okay.
apples.
So somehow you need to break this habit because you
Not going to the shop.
yeah,
Mm.
like, do a week's worth of shopping or a
Oh,
couple
no, I
of
can't do that.
days so that
If you
you've
live
got
on your own,
breakfast
you
when you wake
can't.
up.
It's really hard to do.
No,
Even
it's
my
not.
mum at 71 doesn't do shopping
No,
for the
it's
week.
not. I
She
used
does
to
it
shop
daily.
for the week when I lived on my own.
My brother's got 2 kids and he shops daily. That's weird. I find that weird.
It's because I don't
Yeah.
like going into the shops, especially during Corona.
She doesn't like people.
Right,
Yeah,
no. So breakfast, you again, flame grilled McCoys, a Cadbury's
Sponsorship.
Boost, and
Sponsorship.
half a litre of cherry Coke and a half a
Yes.
litre of Vimto, no added sugar.
Which I haven't got any of at the minute, which is annoying me. I'll get some.
Then for your lunch, what time do you normally lunch actually?
2-ish.
Okay.
2, half 2.
You've had another half a litre of cherry Coke.
This is a
You
bad day for the
basically
Coke,
just
I think.
ate your breakfast again. You had a flame grilled McCoy's
Yeah.
and another Cadbury's Boost.
Yeah, so not stupidly hungry, but wanted a bit of energy. I know crisp but empty
Oh, but that's
calories.
the refined sugar doing
Emptiness.
that.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
hungry, but I just need some energy.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, go on. What about dinner that day?
Dinner, you have had a Ginster's steak slice, 2 jacket potatoes. What do you have? So you just had the jacket potatoes with nothing.
No,
And the slice.
just a little tiny bit of salt and a slice on the side. That's it. So technically not a bad one.
How big are these jackets?
About that big. Not the size of Lindsay gets.
Podcasters don't.
Lindsay
see
gets.
that,
So Lindsay gets one about, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't want you to
4
compare
inches.
to Lindsay though. I want you to compare to yourself.
Yeah, the ones
What
I got.
size for our podcasters are you doing? About the size of a tennis ball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 tennis ball size jacket potatoes and a Ginster's steak slice.
Yeah. No butter, no beans, just a little bit of salt on the potatoes. That's it.
I love the way you dress up. How good you were.
The potatoes are good. Jacket potatoes are fine.
But you've got no vegetable. So you basically refined sugared your way through the
Potatoes, a
entire
vegetable.
day.
Yeah, go on.
There's
Yeah.
no green. There's
No,
no
green
green
suck.
in this week's diet, everybody.
Yeah.
So be
Oh,
prepared
yeah.
for this. I'm
Yeah.
cringing reading it. I find it hard to read it. And you had basically a litre of Vimto.
Vimto, yeah.
And you did 12 minutes of walking that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along to Wednesday. Right. Again, creature of habit. So 6:30, I've had a glass of water. I had chia pudding with strawberries.
Different.
100 milliliters of multi-juice with cannabis powder. Then 9 o'clock,
Munchies.
I had a mocha. I had a mocha and a boiled sweet.
Oh,
you just know that was something left over that the kids left out.
Yeah,
I went,
found in your pocket. Oh, I'll have that.
Well, that's probably like 2 years old. I'll eat that now.
It's got fluff on it, but I'll eat it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what a little treat that was. A mocha and a boiled sweet. Oh, actually, do you know? Oh no,
that
I had
sounds
the chia
really
pudding.
bad.
Yeah.
That's all you had. A cup of coffee and a boiled sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. She's not living in the 1800s, by the way.
And then at 11 o'clock, glass of water, rye bread with vegan cheese, lettuce, and beetroot. 1 o'clock, cup of tea and 2 digestives. 3 o'clock, glass of water. 4 o'clock, cup of tea, carrots, and hummus, and a handful of crisps. I went to the cupboard and went, "Oh, there's crisps up there,"
crisps.
And it's an open packet, and I just took a handful out and ate them.
Yeah, like the grabber things at the fair.
Yeah, exactly, and then it went straight to my mouth.
Yeah, nice.
5 o'clock, glass of water. 6 o'clock, vegan burgers in white bread rolls with salad and a glass of water.
Tasty.
And at 8 o'clock, had my oat milk hot chocolate as normal and a biscuit.
So you are a creature of habit as well. There's certain traits between all day so far, isn't there now? So, yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely
Exercise-wise on a Wednesday?
I didn't do anything because I'd done over 2 hours of boulder
Oh,
climbing,
yeah.
so I
you
need
rest,
the break because my
rest day, yeah.
muscles hurt like hell those days.
Yeah.
I normally try to do some kind of stretches or something to help my muscles.
Maybe a bit of yoga or
like-
something like that as well, yeah?
Yeah, I don't do a full yoga session, so I wouldn't class it as us doing yoga, but I definitely try to stretch my body or
Yeah.
meditate and relax my muscles, because obviously when your muscles hurt, you're tensing, and then I can feel that's a tension in my body, so I have to meditate and go.
If you want to see what Natasha does after a climb, she has got some stuff on our Fat Brain, Thin Brain Instagram where you see her just stretching after a climb as well. So if you want to go and do the same,
I forgot I did those.
check
I
it
do
out.
some exercises.
It's good to do before and after. Brilliant, just to get you a bit more limber.
I just did something. What did I do? Oh.
I don't
Okay. Wednesday. We're still on Wednesday. Your breakfast.
Wednesday.
You were good today, or on this day. You had muesli with whole milk.
Yes. Do you remember that day well or not?
Yeah, you said how much you hate muesli.
Yeah. So to
I'm
the
not
listeners
surprised it wasn't
and
a
the
Cadbury's
YouTubers, this was early doors, and I have never, ever, ever, even when I was a kid, I've never been able to eat cereal early doors. Never.
So you ate this at 6?
Doesn't bother me.
You ate it at
early
10?
doors because I went riding, didn't I? Do you remember I said I went riding that day and I felt really sick and lethargic and horrible? And you said, oh, it's because you're eating muesli, which is a slow release. Releases energy slowly instead of the instant hit of energy I'd get from a crisp or a chocolate bar. Yeah,
and
exactly.
A packet of crisps and chocolate bar.
So I felt sick and I felt because I had healthy stuff inside me. Anyway, carry on.
Lunch. Well, don't worry, you made up for it because lunch was a half litre of cherry Coke and a 330ml can of normal Coke.
I was out and about on the bike, and I then just grabbed something to. I couldn't
Don't you
go
take
into
like
a
little
rucksack
rucksack or something?
No, well, I do now.
Water and
yeah, I do now. I take 2 bottles of
eat.
water with me and some apples because I'm only doing a little bit of miles, but that was quite a good mile of day.
Yeah, you need some food, don't you, at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, so dinner was another Ginster's steak slice.
Enzyme special.
Flame grilled McCoys and a Cadbury's Boost and 1 litre of cherry Coke.
Sponsored.
So
any water that day or not?
You've not written water. Oh, you have written right at the
bottom.
Water 1.5 litres.
Yeah.
I mean, your exercise that day was 150 minutes of cycling.
So a lot of cycling. Average speed was low, but there was a lot of mileage in this. So it was a really good day on the bike. So it was good.
Okay. But whilst you were out on the bike, you weren't like you had the muesli, but how many? 150 minutes, and there was no snack.
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but there's no snack. That's quite a long time to be working your body without.
Yeah.
It's quite good to have some nuts or something to eat.
Most of my pals that I'd go proper mountain biking with, this was just a road ride sort of stuff. So you don't really need that much. Sometimes I'd have a gel or something like that, but other than that, I never would do it on a road ride. But in the hills and stuff, you'd have to have something to eat.
This is another climb day for me Thursday. So I've had a glass of water and 1 peanut butter on toast.
So you've gone back down to the 1, yeah?
Yes. And then from 9 till 11, I'm climbing. So I've got 500 millilitres of water, a rye bread roll with nuts and dark chocolate. Oh, I know what that is. That's actually kind of a yummy treat thing.
There you go, look.
Yeah, but we have it because I was looking at rye bread roll. I don't normally eat rye bread rolls. And I was thinking, hang on, where am I getting the nuts and dark chocolate from as well? Don't normally eat that. But I remember I went to the bakery, a bakery that I really love, and they do these nice rye bread rolls with dark chocolate on top and nuts all sprinkled on. And they're just like the best thing if you need an energy kick. And I knew I was going to the gym, so I wanted to make sure I had energy. 12:30, I had vegetable stir fry, rice, sweet potato falafel, and salad tortilla wrap. Okay, so I put that all into a tortilla wrap.
Yeah, I remember how big it was.
Yeah, so that's basically leftover food from another dinner probably. Oh, and a cup of tea. I like my tea. 5 o'clock, a vegan sausage, mashed potato, French beans, broccoli, and carrots, and a glass of water. So that's dinner. That my kids have to eat that stuff too. I force them. At 8 o'clock, hot chocolate. My
Again,
oat milk,
boom.
hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Boom. And I did 1 hour and 15 minutes of indoor boulder climbing.
Awesome.
Okay, Thursday for you, your breakfast, you were good. You had muesli and milk again, but a can of Coke.
It was later in the day, the muesli, to be fair. That time, and
Did
it
you
felt
have
better.
the can of Coke when you woke up then? And then the
No,
muesli
no.
later? You had it all together?
Other way around. So the muesli was later in the morning, and then the can of Coke was just before I went out.
Okay.
So, because again,
your
my
lunch.
timings of food is normally 10, 2:30, 8:30, or 8 o'clock. Normally.
Mhm.
Yeah, go on.
Your lunch, classic, flame grilled McCoys.
Oh,
Oh, dinner, 3 times slices of Warburton's toast
yes.
with butter and a tin of tuna.
Yeah.
So you basically had tuna on toast.
No. So I had 3
sandwich.
bits of bread left, toasted them, and then had a little tiny bit of butter on there, had them to eat because I didn't have much in the house that day. But I also then found a tin of tuna afterwards. So then just opened the tin of tuna up and just ate it with a fork. So lots of
Okay.
protein, lots of loveliness.
You ate it straight out the can, like you were
Yeah.
camping, but you were in your house.
Yeah. Why ruin a perfectly good dinner plate with tuna on it, making it fishy and smelly when
Okay.
you got 3 cats in the house?
Your snacks today, you had, or that day, was 2 Golden Delicious apples and a cherry Coke.
But the apples are there. So this is the stage where I started loving the apples again. Pink ladies, you'll notice later on, and Golden Delicious. So I do like them.
And you
Not
did
much other fruit I
2
like.
hours of walking that day, 120
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
Do you take the
Which
apples
equates to
when you're
about
walking or something?
9 miles. No, afterwards. Always afterwards.
So when you do 2 hours of walking, you don't eat anything?
Don't eat anything. Don't feel the need to eat anything. And everyone said to me the other day, when I first started the walks, I needed drinks all the way through it. But now I can do the 2-hour walk without a single drink and then come home and have a drink and I'm fine.
Okay, so Friday, again, 6 o'clock, glass of water, and then 6:45. It's kind of getting boring, isn't it? I had my cannabis powder in some juice. 8:20, I had 2 pieces of peanut butter on toast and mocha. Actually, there's a little shift in what I've done there because it's changed what I do now. I've stopped having all the food and everything as soon as I get up because
Right, okay.
I just hydrate my body, get the kids ready now, and I take them to school. And then when I come home, I then make my breakfast and sit down and eat it in peace.
Yeah.
Because what I was finding was I was getting a bit stressed with that. I will stand making packed lunches for the kids, eating my breakfast and drinking. So that was annoying me. So I've swapped it, and you can see here that I've done that. So at 8:30, once I'm home, I've made my hot drink and sat down with my breakfast. 10:30, a slice of banana cake and a cup of tea. Oh, there's channeling my mother right there.
Yeah.
So 12:30 for my lunch, I had hummus and salad tortilla wrap, a few handfuls of almonds and coconut squares. Never really seen those in England much. They're little, it's just dried coconut in squares.
Oh, right, okay.
Compressed down. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and a cup of tea. So yeah, basically a wrap with hummus and salad. Okay, I've just clumped it all together between 10 and 3. Oh, this is because I'm hiking. Oh, this is okay. Between 10 and 3, I've drunk 1.5 liters of water. At 5:30, glass of water, vegan spaghetti bolognese, and at 7 o'clock, a cup of tea. Wow, I didn't snack. Just had my tea, and I'd hiked.
And it's a Friday.
It's a Friday. I hiked 15.64 kilometers. That was 3 hours and 47 minutes of hiking. That's why there is things like a few handfuls of almonds. While I hike,
not randomly,
nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
And I take a flask of tea, so that's obviously a day hike for me. So I've snacked on. So basically I took out something that I could carry in my bag. So that's why I had the wrap and nuts and tea. That's basically what I live on. Oh, that's why I had the cake as well, because I need.
Oh yeah, energy.
So yeah, so
it's all flooding back to you now, isn't it?
yeah, look at that. At 10 o'clock, I love that you can see it, right? Because at 10 o'clock I started the hike. At 10:30, literally half an hour in, I've obviously gone to my hiking buddy.
Yeah.
Should we stop?
Let's have some cake.
Let's put my hammock up, and then we get all cozy in the hammock, and then you sit there and eat a piece of cake and a cup of tea, and it's just the most coziest thing ever. Right, so I did a big old hike that day, so that was good for me. Right, Friday, you had nothing for breakfast. Yeah, nothing. Okay.
Friday's a good one, isn't it?
Lunch, you had 2 Golden Delicious apples.
Mm.
Under snacks, you've got that you've had half a litre of cherry Coke. And under water, you've added that you've had 1.5 litres of water all day.
Yeah.
So did you have that cherry Coke with your dinner? Because dinner, you've got down large Big Mac meal with large Coke.
No, so that would have been
4
after.
cheese melts.
That would have been in the evening.
Okay, so that Coke is an additional to the Coke you had with the Big Mac. Okay, so basically you didn't really eat anything all day apart from 2 apples.
No.
And then for dinner you had a large Big Mac meal with large Coke and 4 cheese melts. Is that?
Yeah, the little tiny things like that.
Right, from
like
McDonald's.
a mozzarella stick.
Okay, I was thinking of like a toasted cheese sandwich or something.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ!
No, they're little tiny bites like that.
Okay, so 4 cheese melts, right? That doesn't sound as bad now. It's like, what? You had 4 cheese toasties?
No, I can't eat cheese toasties. It makes me feel sick.
Okay, so snacks. Then you've written the cherry Coke, half a litre and 1.5 litres of water. And exercise, you did 20 minutes of walking that day.
Mm. So
that was the
you
day
remember me saying I felt really guilty, didn't I? And I was like, oh, stupid. And you said, don't feel guilty, because if that's all you've eaten that day, it's just your dinner and it's the past. So, tomorrow's a new day. So Saturday and Sunday, we just can surmise
and
where
in
it's
a Big
bad
Mac, there's lettuce. Do you take the salad
and
out
gherkins? No, I love it all.
It's probably actually one of the few times on that week you've actually had anything green.
I have had a lot of greens in, because gherkins as well in my pita bread.
Oh, that's a lot of greens in your Big Mac.
Yes.
Okay, so Saturday is Saturday, Sunday for me is my time off, right? Because being a mother.
So you would have got up a little bit later.
Yeah, we leave the kids just running around the house terrorizing the place, and me and my husband ignore them and lay in bed.
You leave them feral, don't you? Yeah.
They're feral. I've told them that they know where everything is, so if they're hungry or thirsty to get
they know where like the lighter is in the house, and how to set the
absolutely
fires on and stuff like that. So
they could kill themselves, but I'll still
if they wanted to, but they choose not to.
They choose not to, and
they choose life.
They don't even choose to feed themselves. They'll wait till I go out. And I always say to them, "Have you had anything to eat or drink yet?" No. Oh, why not? Well, because you weren't up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I try to mold them, but they're very resilient. Okay, Saturday, 7:30. I've had 2 pieces of peanut butter on toast. I like my peanut butter on toast, don't I?
Yes.
A glass of water and a mocha. So what I probably did was got up, drunk the water first, because I always do that. I read that it helps to kickstart all the organs in the body.
Okay.
So that's why I do that. And then I've made my mocha.
What is a mocha?
A mocha is
coffee?
Chocolate and coffee.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I don't do the coffee whole thing, do I? Yeah, so I don't know what they are.
But it's a weird one. People look at me weird when I make it, because any real coffee drinkers out there are going to cringe, because what I do is I take a teaspoon of instant coffee, decaf as well. It's not even real coffee. And then I take a teaspoon of chocolate powder that you'd make hot chocolate with, and put that in, and that's it, and with some milk in.
I never knew.
Yeah. No sugar. I don't have sugar in my tea or my coffee. I cut that out years ago. I used to
sweet enough, aren't you, babe?
Well, I used to be 2 sugars in my tea, and then I cut it down. Yeah, I used to love really sweet tea, and now if I have even a half a sugar, I'm just like, yeah.
I think my mate's dad used to have 7 in his tea.
Oh.
And I thought it was a piss take, because we were working on a building site at the time. Builder's tea and all that.
Yeah.
7 sugars.
Oh, that's
you could stand the spoon up. It's disgusting.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So 11 o'clock, I then had a slice of banana cake and a glass of water. 12:30, leftover spaghetti bolognese, tea and biscuit. And then I've got a thing about I like drinking tea after I've eaten food. So
Definitely,
at
yeah,
lunchtime, again, it's a neurological programming of mine. When I've eaten
Again,
something, I like to
yeah.
then sit and have a cup
Wash
of
it
tea.
down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Between 2 and 3, I've written that I've had half a litre of water. Oh, that's because I've done some walking, I can see. So it means I've been walking with a bottle of water.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, some salted popcorn. Now, I've not written how much popcorn, but I can
that's
tell you
fine, yeah.
now, when I make salted popcorn,
Mm.
I make like I get the big salad bowl that we have and I fill it because it's me.
Is that
and
between all of you, or?
all of us are eating it?
Yeah.
So I've probably consumed rather a lot of popcorn. So I can't tell you how much, just know it's a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
4:30, had a kiwi, and then at 5:30 had vegan chicken and salad tortilla wraps with a glass of water. And then at 9 o'clock, I had another 500 mils of water. Must have felt compelled to drink from my bottle again. And then that day I did 52 minutes of walking, which was probably me forcing the children out to get a break from their Nintendo Switches. I'm such a cruel mum. It's time for a break. Turn it off. We're going out.
No!
And they always go, I hate going to the forest.
Yeah. And then they love it when they're there.
Yeah. And I tend to strap them in the car crying and just take them.
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturday for you, no breakfast.
No.
Your lunch was 3 wholemeal pita breads with garlic Philadelphia and gherkins. 9 gherkins again. Your dinner was a KFC Christmas gravy meal, which includes, I can't read all of that. What does that include?
So it's
I've got it here. Fillet
burger.
tower burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, gravy, fries, and a fillet of chicken. What? Hang on. You have chicken on the side of the chicken burger as well.
So, Natasha, it's a taste bud sensation, and it's obviously designed by someone from up north, right? So basically, they've taken a fillet burger, which has got a hash brown in it, and they've shallowed out the top of the hash brown, so you can pour gravy in it, so it stays in the bowl of the hash brown. So when you put the lid on, the bread lid like that, it oozes out gravy over it all, right? So that's the burger. Then you choose a side, and normally I have a corn cob. I love corn on the cob, but I chose fries this day. And then you have a little tiny strip of fillet chicken on the side as well. And then you have your great tub of gravy. And then they give you a can of Coke. So 330 ml can of Pepsi.
Yeah, you've got your can of Pepsi here. So snacks, you had 3 pink lady apples.
Yes.
And 2 litres of water that day. Check you out with your 2 litres. Boom.
But again, I felt bad for the McDonald's the day before, but yet I did.
You went and had a KFC
that evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I probably told you, don't worry about it. Right. Exercise. Yeah. So you went, oh, fuck it. I'm going to go and have KFC. Exercise, did 120 minutes of cycling.
Yeah, that was a big day. That was lots of mileage.
Is that why you had extra water?
Yeah, I had more water than normal, and I was really, like you said earlier, really, really hungry, and I had nothing in, and I thought, fuck it, I'll order something in. So I ordered KFC. So, and I didn't feel guilty after that, because I felt like I was literally the pinnacle of fitness that day. And I'm not mucking about. That's not me saying, whoa. I felt so good about myself. I've said to Natasha before in the past, where I live, there's 4 or 5 sets of stairs to go up, and I've got to take my bike upstairs. So if you do a 25-mile ride and then you come home, normally I'll stand outside for ages, and it's one of the first times I took the bike straight away again. And that's, for me, to be able to do that still after a ride is fantastic. I sat there and I just felt amazing. So it was really nice to start feeling like that again. So yeah, it was good.
You had less cola that day. There was no
so
you had 1 can of Pepsi.
I've got a problem with cherry Coke, and I've had the problem since I was 13. So many years, and it's all Steve Stray's fault. If you're listening, Steve, it's all your fault, and you know it is. So it's one of them things I can give up, but sometimes it's like, wow, I let my head take over too much and go, oh, I need it. No, you don't need it. It's just force of habit and all that sort of stuff. So I did notice, I said to you a few weeks back, didn't I, that I've noticed there's more and more empties in the house than normal. And that for me is a start to worry again. And it's like, what an idiot. So I don't believe, we've spoken about this before, I don't believe I should ever give it up because you'll always crave it, won't you? But in moderation, like you said, Rene will have a Coke in moderation, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
but
right.
his main drink of the thing would
maybe
be
once or twice a month.
Yeah, so exactly that. So where I failed before when we spoke about the diets and that sort of stuff is you instantly think you have to cut out every naughty thing, don't you? And you have to cut, but if you do, it makes that diet really, really hard to do, doesn't it? So
everything is okay, but in moderation.
Exactly. My week this week has been less bread, and I've done really well with that. And like you say, I had a vegan paella last night, which was amazing going down, but not so good coming up. Yeah. And then so I am a lot better now than what I was. But this was a good slice that I saw week wise of naughty and semi good. But go on, crack on with your Sunday.
Okay, so Sundays is our last day of logging, and I was so happy because I was so tired of writing. I've got a lot of entries, right? And it's like, Jesus Christ, if I have to write one more time that I'm drinking a glass of water, I'm going to explode.
Basically, you should run out of crayons.
Sunday, I started strong. I got up at 6. What?
Ooh.
And I had 500 liters of water.
Wow.
Must have been thirsty.
Straight away. Yeah.
So 8:30, I had 2 pieces of peanut butter on toast and mocha. I probably had that in bed as well. At 10:30, I had another 500 milliliters of water. Look at that. I'd had a liter of water.
I reckon it's that salted popcorn the day before.
Yeah, maybe. Although I had drunk 500 milliliters of water after the popcorn.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot then, isn't it?
So I had a liter of water before lunch even. Okay, then 12 o'clock, vegan chicken salad tortilla wrap.
That sounds nice.
And a cup of tea.
Yep.
3 o'clock, a glass of Ribena and a handful of crisps.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, tea and 1 biscuit. 5:30, glass of wine. I probably was having that while making dinner because at 6 o'clock then we had vegan schnitzels and vegetables and a glass of water.
Lovely.
We're loving vegan schnitzels at the moment. They're so good. And then at 8 o'clock, a glass of water. Geez, what's going on with me that day?
That's a lot of water, isn't it? That's over your amount, isn't it? Or you're on
I wasn't. I had a glass of Ribena at 3, tea, wine, and then a glass of water with my dinner and a glass of water at 8 o'clock. But I didn't have tea or crisps or anything. That's Sunday. Normally I'm just crisping out all over the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even do any activities that day.
Okay.
So, conserving energy. Right, so Sunday, for you had no breakfast.
No.
It says here snacks.
Look at that face. It's
chocolate trifle for snack.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have that for your breakfast, actually?
No.
Okay. Right,
let me go. Chocolate trifle is just a normal size, like single trifle you'd get from an Asda's or something like that. So not massive.
Okay, you look like them for lunch. You've got here 4 slices of toasted bread with butter on.
So this is a sandwich now because the bread's called Warburton's Toasty.
Yeah.
This is technically a sandwich now.
So you're basically making 2 sandwiches here because then you've got 2 times slices of Cathedral City mature cheddar cheese and also some 2 times luxury coleslaw. So I guess you've made 2 sandwiches. Cheese and coleslaw sandwich. Okay. Dinner, 3 slices of bread again.
Basically the same again. The last bits of the bread.
Okay, so you've made your lunch for dinner. But why have you got 3 slices of bread?
So I had 4 slices of bread for my sandwich for the first time. So I don't cut them in half. So it's 2 sandwiches,
Yeah.
And then
how can you make a sandwich with 3 slices? That's an odd amount.
You come on, you must have done this as a kid. So you have a bit of bread, then you cut the edge like that, and then you fold it over. That makes 1 sandwich.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
so
cut. I
it's-
don't cut
yeah.
the edge. I just fold it.
Oh no, yeah, I cut the edge, so it makes it a better crease.
Right. So you had basically 1.5 sandwich for
Yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
Okay. And then snacks, you've got chocolate trifle, and then
Oh,
water that
tasty.
you had 2.5 liters. No Coke on Sunday either.
No, good lad.
Yeah.
It's not every day, and I wasn't ill or anything like that, or it wasn't the shops weren't shut or anything like that. Nothing weird. It's just some days I don't need it.
My
And it's
biggest
simple as that. Was there any
looking.
exercise on that Sunday?
No,
Oh, okay.
you had nothing
Yeah.
down. Just to
Maybe that's
leave-
why I didn't get the Coke then, because I didn't want to go out or something like that.
Yeah. You the biggest thing I think that stands out when I look at your journal is there's a massive lack of vegetables.
Yeah.
I being vegan, obviously it's my main diet. So to me it's
Yeah.
mind-blowing that there's people out there that don't eat any vegetables at all.
Yeah.
So where are you getting your iron from?
I have multivitamins, don't I? I eat multivitamins every day.
So you rely on a supplement to give you your iron.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
same way as you would do if you're insufficient in other
Deficient.
areas. So yeah, so most vegans would have to take supplements to build up on the other stuff they do, don't they?
Yeah, well, I
have
take
quite a
B12.
rounded, you have quite a rounded food anyway. But Lindsay should take. Lindsay's a vegan as well. She should take multivitamins, and she started to. She's stopped being sick and all that now, and she's starting to feel a lot better.
Oh, that's good.
So she obviously was missing a lot of the stuff out that she should be having. Not saying it should be coming from meat.
I do. I mean,
like that, but
I'm
yeah.
not a very good vitamin taker. I have these vegan vitamins, which are supposed to obviously supplement me for everything that I don't get because I'm a vegan.
Yeah.
And then, which is this weird myth, I think, because I get everything I need because I'm eating everything. The only thing I'm not eating is meat.
Yeah.
So I just supplement that for other stuff, like, you know, my protein. The biggest thing is protein. Everyone's always like, oh, you're vegan, where do you get your protein from? Well, there's protein in everything, and actually I'm getting loads of protein from nuts.
Yeah.
I get it from like chickpeas or legumes or some kind of like lentils and things like that, and seeds. Also the vegan meat that I eat, obviously a lot of that is made from soy or mushrooms. So yeah, but it doesn't taste like mushroom. It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I take these vitamins, but I'm really bad at taking vitamins because I kind of forget that they're there. So because I'm eating healthy all the time, I don't feel like I'm lacking anything. And then I'll
it's
suddenly
in subconscious now. So because I've got to take tablets every day anyway for other stuff, it's just part of that routine for me. So
I think
I'll add that in with that. Yeah. So you don't have that in your lifestyle.
No, so I have to stand there and remind. Like I always remember the kids' vitamins in the mornings with their breakfast, but for some reason, for me, I just forget to do it. So,
yeah, I mean, friends of mine have been doing vitamins for years and years, and you know, Lindsay used to do vitamins, multivitamins, and all that before she turned vegan. So it's always been said to me, "Oh, you should start trying to do that. You'll have less colds. You'll be more active. You'll be more healthy. You'll be more alert, and all that sort of stuff." And it has helped. It's definitely helped with some aspects, but I
actually haven't noticed any difference. There's no difference
I wouldn't say
whether I take them or not.
No. I think it's a little bit like a placebo effect for some people. But again, there is benefits to taking multivitamins and stuff.
Yeah, and there's certain things like hormonal things, right? Like when women are, you know, stop having their periods and that. Like I remember my mum started taking evening primrose oil and stuff like that, which helped her with her, you know, sweats and stuff. So there's obviously certain things.
Going back to what Natasha said about January coming up, this episode is going out in January. We're in December at the moment while we're recording this, but we thought this would be a great one to start January off because a lot of people start going to the gym. A lot of people actually start looking at, you know, where they are as a person and if they need to lose weight. The best thing to do is to do a journal. I always used to say to myself, I don't really eat much, and I didn't eat much. It was still 3 set meals, but it was the things in the meal. So back in the day, I'd have, you know, for breakfast, I'd have like 4 Weetabix, whole milk, loads of sugar on it, and then I'd eat that about 10, 11 o'clock, and then lunchtime would be 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it'd be like 4 sandwiches, crisps, chocolate, and all this other stuff. And then tea time would come, and it'd be a Kiev or maybe 2 chicken Kievs. Now, if you look at the calorific values and fat content of Kievs, oh my god, you'd actually cry. But then that'd be coupled with chips and beans on the side, and then that'd be my tea. And then sometimes I'd be like Natasha, about 8 o'clock, 8:30 sort of time, I'd go down to maybe get some sort of snackage as well. This is like going way back when I was living with my mum. And the
But I
first
still feel
time
like you eat the same.
Yeah,
You feel
yeah.
like you're eating sandwiches and
No, yeah. So
like you're eating lunch all day.
I would never, ever, ever have Kievs or anything like that again because it was just so bad. The occasional KFC or McDonald's, it will either be because of convenience or laziness, which is
But to be honest, your
I
everyday
do feel guilty.
is lazy. Like if I look at
Yeah,
that style of eating, everything is what can I make that's quick?
what can I grab? Like I'm a real like busy go-getter, isn't it? That's the way it looks like I've just run into the garage whilst filling up, grabbed the Ginster slice, grabbed the cherry coke, and then just eating it while I'm going on to one. I don't work. So I've got all the time in the world to build stuff. I say build, not make. Build stuff for my dinners going forward. I could build chili con carne for the week and just put loads of it in the freezer. And so all you have to do is pop it out, boom, in the microwave, done. Only one cooking day could do the whole week. But I choose stupidly not to because I'm very, very fussy when it comes to what I eat that day. Going forward, I do need to address, I love all vegetables. There's no vegetable I don't like, I don't think. Just having a plate of that for my dinner, Brussels sprouts, that sort of thing would be amazing. Fruit-wise, I do need to start pushing on the fruit. I only really like bananas and apples though, which is a bit limiting.
But that's
to what
fine.
I have.
But I think
Of course it is.
The biggest thing for me, right,
Yeah.
looking at it as a whole, if I look at it as an entire picture of that week, to me, I get this distinct impression it's somebody that doesn't really care enough about themselves. Like, you're not taking the time to understand what nutrition needs to go into your body, especially for now the increase of exercise. And I'd said to you, go and research about what an athlete would eat, because if you're walking for 2 hours, that's a lot for your body as well, because you're overweight, so your heart's having to work really hard. So you need to feed your body nutrition, not just sugar. So to me, it just looking at it as the big picture, it's someone that simply doesn't care about themselves enough. So it's not about the food. It's not just about the food. It's that overall image that I see.
There's a hint of it. There's a hint of
it's not a hint. It's a massive shout, actually.
No. And then there's that autopilot part of it still, but then there's a huge chunk of comfort eating still. So there's still in that week, there's a lot of like, I've done that, I've done good, and now I can have this. But it shouldn't always be that way around. I know that, and I know what I'm doing, and I know what's going in my mouth. But sometimes
you're not changing it, and I think that's why we want to do
now.
this.
Changed much
but
better
is
now.
it? But is it? Because that's from November, and we've been talking for a few months now, where I've been saying to you about you need to change your food, you need to do this.
I haven't added veg though, not yet. No, so that's one I will have to include. But apples, loads more water as well. And I'll have a drink of water before I have something to eat.
What you need to look at is your routines as well. This thing in the morning,
I need to
you
get
need
away.
To nip that in the bud. So in the morning, what is this routine that you do?
Such a nice treat.
But it's not. You're kid. You have to understand this. You are. I don't know how you don't have diabetes.
I'm all good.
You are just. You've got to understand that kind of food for a week. I'm going to get on your case
pancreas?
Again. You cover stuff up with comedy. I know you do, and you're doing it now. Everybody who's listening, but essentially, you've got to learn that this isn't good for you, and you have to change it. And if you're not prepared to change it, then you may as well give up now.
I think sometimes though, when you So going back to my week, that week, I think I lost 4.5 or 5 pounds that week. So I still lost weight. But like Natasha said at the beginning of this, before we went live and started recording, she said, if you ate the way you should eat, you'd probably lose more than that, like 7 to 8 pounds. And she's right. She's 100% right. But I did find, and Lindsay could back me up on this as well, that when I was being a twonk, when I was at Slimming World and eating just crap, but then just exercising in the evening or whatever, I was losing a lot more weight than I did the week that I gave up Slimming World was the week I ate religiously, exactly like they said to eat. Lindsay was prepping the meals for me and all that. I was still exercising every single day, and I put on 1.5 pounds.
But can you
and
hear yourself a minute? Lindsay was prepping the meals for me. You need to take ownership of this.
Yeah.
So you need to basically grow the fuck up.
Yeah, but Lindsay, the thing with Lindsay is she lost weight. She was losing weight on the same thing with no exercise. So why is she losing weight that week? She lost.
Are you
4.5
sure you
pounds
weren't
that week.
cherry coking it?
No, not at all. 100%. No cherry coke at all that week. And yeah, again, she vouched for me.
Well, maybe your
totally on
body
that front.
thought that you were trying to starve it, and it started.
My body
hibernating.
is weird. Yeah, my body is weird, and the doctors said my body's weird too. I can't remember her name. She was really Dr. Tate. She was fantastic. She was one of the people that told me to have a lunch for my dinner and a dinner for my lunch. And I swapped that round, and that's when I lost.
Do that. Yeah,
that's when I lost the 10 stone before, but it didn't stay off, obviously, because it didn't sort out my major problem, which is the brain. So this is why this time, I'm still 6 and a bit stone lost. So we're not losing, we're not losing this
no.
battle.
So what are you down to now? Your actual weight?
I'm 20 stone 2 at the minute.
And that you've started at 26.
On 26, yeah.
Okay, so you've lost 6 stone and you want to get down to where?
Since July, innit? And I want to get. See again. This has changed. So when we first started this,
but what's your ideal weight you do want? I know it's changed, but what did you start off with your goal as?
I want to get down to 14 stone, which is still 3 stone overweight.
Really? Okay. So ideally, in theory, you should be 11 stone.
11 stone something, yeah. For my height, 5'9", 5'10", I should be 11 stone 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I
But
can't
now you said you want it
myself
to just
being
be fit.
size.
You said something about it's changed.
I want to be able to go into any shop and go away with any sort of clothing, not stealing it. Going away with any clothing that I don't have to go, oh, would that fit me? Or don't have to stretch it out or anything like that at all. I can just put it on, fits lovely and perfect. I know that sounds a little bit whimsical, shall I say? But I also want to be as fit as I was as well. When I lost weight before, I was still big. I was still 15 stone. So 4 stone overweight. But I was fit, and then everyone knows like Tingley Vale and that, and it's a hard ride up there. And I've done it and come down and found my brother. I could ride everywhere I wanted to. I was at the gym every day apart from Sundays, and it was just a totally different me. And you go onto my Instagram page and you can see some of the old photos and stuff. I just look like a different person. But I then got a little bit ridiculed for looking ill and looking old because I've lost so much weight. And then, other things happened, and then went back on to the eating loads of crap again, basically. So, but my head in the last couple of days has been really, really good. Fantastic, in fact.
How has it felt to look at the journal? Like how is that going to change anything for you going forward now?
My Fitness Power is fantastic because it gives you all the nutritional information of what you've had. And like we were talking last night, a lot of it was in red. But when we went back to the early ones in 2013, when I was doing it properly, most of them were green. There's only a couple of ambers and maybe one red on a day. But so I'm going to concentrate on looking at that going forward. And I need to do exercise pretty much every day. Where there's no general timetable to my life at the moment. There's no structure there. There is in a way because I like to go walking at a certain time and I like to go riding at a certain time and stuff. But because the structure is now out of my life since February, there's no stages now. So I like to stick to something to eat at 11, something to eat about 2:30, and something to eat about half 8, 8 o'clock. But
So
if
what
I'm not
about if you made a
hungry,
structure then?
yeah, I know. That's another thing as well. So that's another podcast in the making now. I think structuring your days so that you don't have time to think about food would be the great thing, wouldn't it? So
Well,
as
it's
soon
more
as I'm
about, I think
working
it's a
again, I do
mentality
change.
thing. We
Yeah,
keep
when
talking
I'm
about like your mental state and
yeah
having like the right mindset. So I think
yeah
if you gave yourself a structure for your day, so you knew you'd always be up at this time and you're going to eat breakfast then, and you're going to have lunch then, you're going to have dinner then, and you're allowed to have whatever these are snack times in the middle if you need it. And you know, okay, on this day, I'm out on the bike, but on that day I'm walking. So I'm going to need something in my backpack because I'm out for longer or something. You can plan. It's basically you're planning the week.
yeah.
Just
So
like you
I
would
plan
go
my
into
week
work.
well. Yeah, I plan my week well, and I know what I've got to do for the rest of the week. But there's no daily structure there other than the meal times. But as you know yourself, that I could probably, I'm not hungry now still, so I could probably go all the way till tea time now without eating anything. That's silly, but
bad.
I'm just not hungry. So I don't see I don't see the point of eating for no reason, if you know what I mean. I've got stuff planned
Well,
today, and I'm going to go
but
for a
there's a
ride.
limit that should be adhered to.
Yeah. And we must put it out to everyone in the ether and all that. We're not trained nutritionists. Obviously, I'm definitely not. But
I'm not
it's
either.
just, this is our valid opinions about everything. And maybe when we get together and you actually see me in the flesh, you know, because we haven't actually seen each other for years, have we? When we're together and we're together for a day or whatever, or a couple of days, you'll actually see that my energy levels never dip without missing food. They're still the same, always not sometimes higher because I'm hyperactive. So maybe it's the drugs I'm on that makes me
Well,
just
I
not
think
hungry.
I think it's a bad excuse because I think your body
It
does
could be
need
weird things, couldn't it?
energy, but you're
Yeah.
not. It's just because you're happy, you're like, oh, I've got energy, so I'm happy. But you're still neglecting the actual body. I mean, your body is your temple because
Mine's the Taj Mahal.
but if you treat it badly, it's going to start decaying and falling apart. And you often say about, I've been sick, I've got ill, I've had the shits, I've
Always got the shits.
I've got gout, I've got pains in my legs, I've got a pain in my knee, I've got a headache.
Where did the pains in the knees start from?
What, you're walking?
When I started, so again, when the last time I lost weight, the doctor's like, it can't be doing it. You should be in more pain when you had all that weight on. Your knee should be killing yourself when you've got that weight.
But
on
look what
walking
you're
around with
putting
that
in your
weight.
body.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's not now or never, but I'm on the right track, but there's some track maintenance to be done still, shall we say? Does that sound right?
You need a whole track building.
Fuck off.
You've laid the first part of the track.
The foundation stone,
Yeah. But you've got to start somewhere. So you've laid the foundation and you understand, okay.
And this is the big thing about doing a journal. Yeah, this is a big thing about doing a journal in the first place. You'll see on that A4 bit of paper or on a spreadsheet that you've done it on, you'll see where the problems are.
Yeah,
and then
really
you can
highlights.
rectify them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go off and go mad over Christmas. We've already discussed that. I've already set aside what I want to do for Christmas Day, food wise. I'm in and are in two minds at the moment whether I'm going to drink some alcohol. But if I do that, it'll only be a few cans of cider, nothing over the top.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go in crazy and be pissed as far. But I'm going to really do it well. And obviously we got a virtual hike on the 27th. And looking forward to that. And I've got some bike rides coming up as well. And, some good stuff going on, which is not normal for me over that festive period. So it's not like it's normally just sit down, watch TV and eat junk food, isn't it? So we're on course. Like you say, the train track is being laid. It's been laid badly to start with, and it had leaves on the track. So them leaves are being swept away as we speak. And then obviously we'll get down the route where
it
we need
takes
to
time. It takes time, and the
be. It
problem
takes
is
time.
you have to change your mindset a lot. So
Here,
you
right.
have to
So
change your programming, and that actually requires a lot of time and a
yeah,
lot of caring for yourself.
yeah. So before we go and we go our separate ways after this beautiful podcast today, there was a man. We went to a BDS race back in 2012, I think it was, in Somerset, and we went to this place and we pitched up the tent. And we're getting all sorted. It's really cold. It's like a day like today, so about 7 degrees, rainy and all that. But watching a mountain bike event, fantastic. Bloke rocks up next to us in a nice camper van and all that. And he was 42 years old or 43 years old. And he's talking to us, and he looks fit as a fiddle, toned and everything like that. He had a really posh bike on the back, and he said, I used to do carpentry until I was 35, 36. Then I had a stroke. I had a stroke quite young, but he was 17 stone. So he was overweight and he was stressing himself by cycling and all that sort of stuff. And he had this stroke, a TIA sort of thing. And then we said, what do you do now? You still working? He said, no, I gave it all up. I got to a point in my life where I had enough money. I gave everything up and I changed my lifestyle. And now he's sponsored by someone to ride their bikes for him and stuff. And it totally changed his life round. But it took him 8 years. It took him 8 years to do the transformation.
Normally, in order to do a transformation, it requires a catalytic moment.
It does, yeah. And some people just wait for that moment, and you should never wait for it, because that moment could be the end moment, couldn't it? It could be.
Yeah, it's like you and your, I don't want to do my cold shower. I'll do it on Monday. And I said, do it now.
Monday's cold.
I'll do it on Monday. I'm like, we're on today. We're on Tuesday. We were Tuesday when we were talking about it. I'll do it on Monday. So like next week. I'm like, why? Just do it now.
So Natasha's on about Wim Hof. She started the Wim Hof method, and she's doing the cold showers and the breathing techniques. And she's got the app on her phone as well now. I'd done it a while back, and I managed quite good times on it in the cold shower. But the thought of it now is literally, look, it's making me go all like goose pimply. Can you see? It really is. It's like, oh no, it's really, because I know how cold it is. But with everything else that you talk through the app, you then become, it's not a problem, is it? It brings that, it just brings so much niceness to you again.
I turned it down very cold this morning, and I could feel myself go, like, take the breath in.
Yeah, that deep
and not
breath
letting
in,
the breath out. And I'm going,
yeah,
breathe out. Come on, breathe out. You can
exactly.
do this. Like,
but it's again, I want to start the gym again. I've got big plans for the gym for next year. I love the gym, absolutely love it. But there's a part of my brain that says you're going to look stupid in there, and people are going to look at you and all that. And then that again is a little bit of fear about going back to that. So it'll probably give me the same reaction as like the cold shower pimples did and all that. But I know it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Everyone says, no, I don't need the gym. I personally do. I don't think everyone does, because again, a lot of money will be tight in January for a lot of people on it. So if you can save some money, you can just get out walking or whatever. I started by walking, and I've gone, walking's becoming a little bit of a chore for me at the minute, which is why I switched to the bike for a little bit.
I think it's good to switch to what you feel good at, because we're phases. We go through phases. So if at that time walking was giving you great joy, then fantastic. But the second it stops being joyful, put a different activity in, which you did. You got the bike, and that's great. So now you've just moved over to the bike, and then one day you'll go, oh, I fancy having a walk. I hate running.
Exactly.
But there's some days I go, I don't know, for some reason I feel like going for a run, because I know it's quick. I get my heart rate up really fast. I'm going to hate it, and then I'll get home. I can have a shower and I can continue my day.
This is exactly it. So you get, and sometimes you get used to it, don't you? Your body gets used to doing the 8 miles, and you go, well, I could do 12 miles, but then it's the same loop, but then back on myself again. But if I jump on a bike and do like 20 miles on the bike, that's again a totally different workout, isn't it? So I was knackered the first time I'd done it, because I hadn't done it for so long, but now I can jump on the bike and do God knows how many miles now. So which is, great. And then I'll get to the point where I'll go, like you said, I've had enough of that. Not had enough, but it's not doing what I need it to do now. So then move on to the gym. But then you've also got in your arsenal, then you've got the gym, cycling, and walking. So you've got them 3 things that you love doing. But because you haven't done one for a while, when you go back to it, like you say, you're going to love it again. So,
don't I? Because I have the climbing, I have climbing, yoga, and hiking.
Yeah, exactly. And later on, I want to start swimming as well because I love swimming. So, you could just add and add and add. So it's brilliant. But you've got to, I wouldn't have been able to do none of that if I hadn't started walking in the first place. So walking again has started me back on the right track, should we say, exercise-wise. Because I'm on a semi-good track for that, aren't I? So exactly,
I think if you have more variety to walk, you're just getting bored of the streets. Go to Facebook, type in Fat Brain, Thin Brain, and we're in there. So you can follow us along, join in the virtual events. We've also got challenges.
Yeah.
So we've started challenges for steps. So we're doing a challenge for doing a certain amount of steps each week, a total that you need to gain. So if you want to get involved in any of the challenges, again, come and find us on Facebook. Facebook's the easiest place for us to set up these events and challenges. So that's where it all is. So essentially, if you want to get involved, go find us on Facebook.
Yay.
If you want to get involved in any of our podcasts, we will be handing it out there again on Facebook, just making it available for people. If you have any weight loss transformations that you want to share with us, that would be amazing to share some people's weight loss achievements, just to spur everyone along, get everyone motivated, because it is January. And are you going to be doing Veganuary? Obviously I'm on Veganuary because I'm on it all year round.
You are Veganuary.
I should go the other way. I should only eat meat once.
That's it. Yeah, and dairy. No,
I'd die. I can't.
I'll be doing at least 3 days a week vegan for majority of January, February, most probably so. Welcome to 2021, people. We're at it. Let's not make January a gloomy one. Let's make it the best we can make it. Yeah. And let's go on forward as we carry on as we mean to go on. Is that the right pronunciation? Yeah.
Do you want to know what my mantra is today? Actually,
calm your hair down.
No. Oh. What are you saying? Something about my hair? Right. My mantra today is: we always want more than we need, but we always need less than we want.
Oh.
Want more than we need, but we need less than we want. So remember that one, and let's have an awesome January.
Let's have a great day, everyone. Let's have a great January.
Fortnight now that we're in 2021.
So that's the main difference, isn't it, to 2021? Fortnightly.
Every fortnight. If you want to get involved with us, hop on Facebook. That's where the biggest coverage.
We're looking for a lot of participation this year, aren't we?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. See you
Thanks
later,
for
guys.
listening, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.